Welcome back to Love, Light, and Darkness Tarot. This is a new series that I'm starting called Difficult Mothers. And I'm just going to take a look at what makes your relationship with your mother difficult. What energy is she in? What energy are you in? What energy do you maybe need to harness in order to navigate dealing with her? This isn't a video to bash anyone. I'm not in the business of doing that. I'm sure whatever makes your mother difficult is her own journey. So this you don't have to worry about this being a disrespectful gang up pile up on your mom. That's not what we're doing. We're simply just looking at the dynamic between you both. Why is it difficult, and how can you navigate it in a way where you can retain your dignity and your sanity and your boundaries? So the way that I set it up, I'll just you can choose one of the images or multiple images if you prefer that correspond to the energy you think your mom is in, energy that resonates with you. You have for your options Emily Gilmore of Gilmore Girls, Lady May of Greenleaf, Eleanor for Crazy Rich Asians, and Fiona from Shameless. So, again, you can choose multiple images, whichever corresponds to you. Pardon me. And the video will correspond to the image. So this is video one, so this is for image one. So if you resonate with Emily Gilmore, this is for you. If you resonate with Lady May, please see video two, Eleanor video three, Fiona video four. Why don't you take a second to really think about it, really tune in, and I'll see you in the corresponding video. Okay, image one, I'm using the Black Moon Lilith Oracle deck to tap into what is the energy that your difficult mother is in that might be the reason why she's so difficult for you to deal with or talk to or just navigate a relationship with. I chose the dark moon, the Black Moon Lilith, because a lot of times difficult mothers are in dark feminine energy, and that's what makes them so difficult. So, your first Black Moon Lilith card is the moon, intuition and emotional healing. So, I'm going to read what that represents out of the booklet. The moon, intuition and emotional healing. The moon is the internal cosmic mother, reflecting the paternal sun. She is nurturing and life giving luminary, ruling over the psyche and emotions of her children here on earth. When you receive the Moon Oracle card in a reading, it indicates a strengthening of your intuition and increased receptivity. The answers you seek are already inside of you. Listen to your gift of psychic awareness and allow it to guide your way forward. If something doesn't feel right, reflect on why. You may be feeling a sense of fatigue, and the moon is encouraging you to pour into yourself right now. Have you taken time to nurture yourself? In astrology, the moon represents your emotional reactions, soul, and internal nature. The moon takes around 2.5 days to move through a zodiac sign, and it rules over the water sign of Cancer. Mother Moon also represents your comfort zone and the relationship you had with your mother in astrology. This is how you were conditioned as a child, making this an unconscious part of your personality. The key is to nourish your moon by understanding what emotionally aligns with you and consciously making decisions to support it. It's incredibly important to understand and honor your moon sign's needs, as your emotions are part of your manifestation power. If you don't feel emotionally aligned in your life to your moon's needs, it can create inner turmoil. The following is a quick guide to what your moon sign needs to feel emotionally aligned. The moon changes zodiac signs every 2 to 3 days, so you will need to look at your birth chart to determine yours. Moon in Aries, leadership. Moon in Taurus, security. Moon in Gemini, communication. Moon in Cancer, nurturing. Moon in Leo, creativity. Moon in Virgo, intelligence. Moon in Libra, harmony. Moon in Scorpio, stability. Moon in Sagittarius, freedom. Moon in Capricorn, structure. Moon in Aquarius, intellect. Moon in Pisces, sensitivity. Your psychic awareness is increasing. Listen to this information and allow it to guide your way. Wow. Powerful, powerful reading there. So, your mother may be a very, very self possessed person. I mean, if you resonate with the image of Emily Gilmore, then yes, self possessed. And you may not, it may be difficult for you to navigate a relationship with her because you don't resonate with her brand of femininity. You might look at her chart and see what is her moon sign, because maybe your moon sign and her moon sign, or your sun sign and her moon sign, something may be there, or your Mars and her moon may have some sort of interesting aspect to one another. Pardon me. She's very self-possessed, and that could lead to you feeling like she steamrolls over you. Like she doesn't hear you, or she doesn't acknowledge where you are vulnerable, or where you need support, or where you need gentleness. Maybe you need a little more empathy, compassion. You may go to her with your needs and she responds by telling you to like straighten up, toughen up, don't be so sensitive, be stronger than that, let that go. And that's really not what you were looking for. Or she may even minimize or dismiss your problems, like, oh, well, that little thing, that's not a real issue, that's not a real problem. So you leave feeling wounded, like I came to you with a sensitive part of me, and you didn't acknowledge it and you didn't care for it. So now I'm left to mother myself and care for myself, and tell myself it'll be okay, and that I'm worthy and I can do this. And or it could be the opposite. You may have a mother who thinks her needs, whether consciously or unconsciously, she thinks her needs are tantamount, and her needs come first. Whatever she feels, whatever she thinks, she tends to dominate with her emotional aura. Like she monopolizes all the emotional space. It's the same result. There's no room for your feelings. However, she's using emotions to domineer everyone else. So, with Moon card being the energy that represents your difficult mother, it tells me it's in the realm of emotions. It's how emotions are handled. It's about how you're made to feel, consciously or unconsciously. She may not be conscious of it, and you may have tried to tell her, but Moon represents hearing, healing, listening by hearing someone, receptivity, being receptive to what someone is saying. So, you may have a mother who's difficult because she can't really hear you, or maybe she hears what she wants to hear, and it could be difficult to talk to her, like on the phone, in person. You may dodge her calls because you know she's going to tell you a lot of things that you're not interested in hearing, things that may even hurt you to hear. And then when you try to tell her something, or you try to talk to her, she cannot hear you. It's like there's some sort of block. So let's look at the energy that you might want to tap into in order to help you to navigate this energy with your difficult mother. And I'm using the Kali Oracle to do that. Again, because a lot of times difficult women are difficult because they're very comfortable in their dark feminine. And the rest of us are not so comfortable in dark energies. So let's see. What's an energy you can. Oh, one one card tried to come out right away. Let's get a clear shuffle and see if it reappears. An energy that you can inhabit. Oh, it didn't. It's a different card. Oh my goodness. I apologize if I mispronounce this. Kalarartri, I think. Kalarartri is the Kali energy that you need to harness in order to that you might harness, I'll say. An energy that you might consider harnessing and engaging to help you deal with the particular difficulty you have with your mother. And I'm going to read this to you as well. Kalarartri, she appears beneath the cloak of night, revealing the truths that must be known to set the heart free. She offers you an opportunity to engage in a profound and enduring transformation. This will lead to a powerful rebirth, free from even the most persistent patterns or pains of your past. Your soul is in deep healing, Recovery can be painful, but that pain is temporary, and you will emerge renewed and released. In time, you will greet your rising destiny from an entirely new and improved inner foundation. You are blessed to experience a new life within this lifetime. The goddess Kalaratri appeared when a warrior violated the rules of law and violently assaulted enemy troops resting under cover of night. She appeared in terrible form, making sounds that expressed her horror at the suffering taking place. This is the weeping and wailing Black Madonna. No matter how people try to cover up what is happening, glossing over things with cleverly manipulative words, she is the truth witnessed and laid bare. For those who have been cajoled or coerced to deny their intuition and authentic experience, Kalarartri breaks through the crazy making and brings us into the truth of what is happening. Oops, sorry. She brings the relief of truth even when it is difficult to hear, or difficult to bear, pardon me. She breaks open toxic systems and reveals deceptive behaviors. In unmasking the terror of what has happened or is still happening, we become able to disconnect from sources of abuse so we can begin to heal the trauma. That which is not acknowledged can never heal, but is doomed to be repeated. The acknowledgement of Kalarartri is not an intellectual pulling the thorn out of the lion's paw. It's a bone deep agony of relief. It hurts, but is the way that leads to healing, rather than the hurt that would come from trying to ignore the thorn and dealing with increasingly negative consequences. The name Kalarartri literally translates as Black Night, a time that is sacred and honored with celebration in the Hindu tradition. It is also an emanation of the goddess Kali herself. In that sense, Kali is our dark night of the soul. In the Hindu scriptures, Kalarartri is known as the dark night of final dissolution, the formal and absolute ending of something that no longer needs to be. She signifies that there is no going back. She is the spiritual solvent into which we, as we have known ourselves and experienced our agonies, can dissolve. There's a lot more to be read here, but I think that in and of itself is really powerful. The many gifts of Kalarartri include increased fearlessness and freedom. The oracle guides you to trust in her protection and her promise that under her guiding hand you shall become all you are destined to be. So it may, from that, I mean, you can take from it obviously whatever resonates best with you. What really stands out to me is the emphasis on honesty with the self, being honest with yourself about the injustices that you're experiencing, being honest about, especially in the beginning, Kalarartri appeared when a warrior violated the rules of law and violently assaulted enemy troops resting under the cover of night. So with Moon, the Black Moon Lilith oracle, that is about rest and how you should be able to be at rest with your mother. You should be able to have a safe place with her. But with Kalarartri, we know that you don't have that. You're not able to go to her and lay your head down on her shoulder and confide in her and just be at peace. If you try that, she may become very triggered by the fact that you have these emotions, and she may want you may feel like she's verbally and emotionally assaulting you by the way she responds. Like you come to her with vulnerability and she may she may be very cutting and biting and contemptuous towards you. With the energy of Kalarartri, it may be very healing for you to call that out. Not to get into a back and forth with her or an argument, but just to call it out and say, you know, I came to you looking to you for help, looking to you for just a listening ear, and instead you're insulting me. You know? A mother who is emotionally shut down will want to emotionally shut you down. because your emotions make her uncomfortable because she's probably disavowed her own emotions. She's probably gotten rid of them. And it seems like color archery is saying a way to neutralize her is counterintuitive, but to have emotion. Because if you have emotion, then she has to figure out a way to deal with that emotion or else leave you alone, basically. Leave you alone. She'll probably leave you alone because she can't handle you having emotion. But when you let your emotions show, you're being honest and you're instituting the truth, the reality of the situation. You're not living in her false reality where she never hurt you, she never cut you, she never said anything biting or acerbic, she didn't cut you down, she wasn't malicious. You know, that's the gaslighting, that's the manipulation. Color archery talks about toxic systems. Well, what about the family as a system? What about there are some schools of thought where the family is a system, and you can have a toxic system in your family. And just like if it was an organization, you would call it out. Even with people, you can call it out. And color archery even says we become able to disconnect from sources of abuse so we can begin to heal the trauma. If you live in your difficult mother's made up world that she's never wrong, she never hurt you, she never cut you down, she never cut down your partner, then you're living in a false reality that you cannot heal in that reality. But when you let your emotions show, it's like confronting her with the reality that yeah, you did cut me down. I feel this way about it, and no, I'm not going to get over it. It has to be healed, and if you're not going to heal it, then I need to disconnect from you so I can heal by myself. We'll pull a couple cards from the Artist Decoded Tarot. I only read these in the upright. Okay, first card out, Knight of Wands. Second card, we have the Ace of Cups. Third card, the Emperor. From this, I see that things are going to go with your difficult mother the way that you allow them to go. You have a lot more power in the situation than you believe, probably because your difficult mother doesn't want you to think you have any power at all. Because if you have power, then she probably has a scarcity mentality. The moon card is here, not the moon card tarot, the moon oracle card. The moon waxes and wanes. So if you think about someone who lives like that with waxing and waning, they have a bit of scarcity about themselves. So you may have a mother who believes that if you have power, that means she has less. But if she has power, that means you have less. And she may even want all the power, which leaves you with none. Emotional power, power over the family, power to say what the family will and won't do. So like if you want to have plans for a holiday with your household, you will feel small and childlike even as an adult. Like she may belittle you so that you feel like you have to ask her permission before you can make plans for your household, or she'll punish you. And the cards are indicating you have so much more power than to just be belittled like that. And you can, as color archery, call out the injustices against you and say, you know, I have every right to plan a holiday for myself and my household, and for you to make me feel like I need to ask your permission as if I'm a child is wrong. And you need to know with Emperor here, she cannot punish you. You're a grown person. You have autonomy. The days of her being able to punish you are done. And if she tries to punish you, call that out. When you call someone out, you unmask them. And a lot of dysfunction is able to happen because people won't call it out. So it never gets unmasked. Like, if you think of a throwback to the original Scooby Doo mysteries, They always made sure that at the end of the episode, whoever presumed to be a villain got unmasked. And we got to see who they really were. A librarian, a professor, going around here puffing up their chest trying to scare people. You know, a lot of what your difficult mother does is just bullying. It's just bullying. And it's bullying, and also then making you feel like you can't have any feelings about how she bullies you, because feelings create accountability. And it's okay to call that out. In fact, you'll disempower her. You will unmask her every time you call it out. Because especially with Moon, she probably prides herself publicly of being like some sort of supreme mother. Like, look at me, I'm like a matriarch, right? But if you're calling her out and saying, "Wow, what a matriarch," and when I tried to have plan a nice holiday for myself and my household, you ripped into me, you yelled at me on the phone, you sent me a barrage of nasty text messages. I mean, I don't know a matriarch who acts that way. Because you know what? That's the one thing she probably doesn't expect from you. She doesn't expect anyone around her to have a spine, to have a backbone, and stand up to her. That's the point of like emotional control and emotional monopolizing emotion in a family. It's to control what everyone gets to feel so she can control what people do. And you can completely take the high ground away from her. And it's very counterintuitive. It's to put your feelings in the room and say, no, you made me feel small. You made me feel like I'm incompetent, like I'm stupid. You made me feel that way. I don't know a matriarch who would make their child feel that way. So now you're proving to me I'm right to go my own way. I'm right to take my family away from you. I'm right in the stance that I'm taking because look how you behave. You have Emperor card here. And with Ace of Cups, you're not doing this to be malicious. That's the beauty of it. Color archery isn't malicious. Color archery simply calls out the injustice, calls out the things people feel safe to do because they think nobody's looking and no one's ever going to call them out. And you know what else? Some of you have siblings who are waiting, like the Knight of Wands. They're waiting to follow you into a new beginning. They're just, as soon as you take a stand against your difficult mother and say, okay, you're not the matriarch, I'm not following you, because you create this precedent of emotional manipulation and emotional abuse. You have siblings who are going to follow you and say, okay, well, you're the matriarch now, or you're the patriarch now. We're following you now. So we're going to meet up at your house for the holidays, or we're going to create new traditions with you. Because usually I'm getting the holidays for some reason. Some of you, is there a holiday coming up? I guess if you celebrate, in the West, there are a couple holidays coming up. There's something about holidays being miserable. Like, it's a tradition of misery during the holidays, and it has a lot to do with the emotional behavior of your difficult mother, the blackmailing, the gaslighting, the strong arming, and then everybody shows up and she wants to act like she didn't do any of those things. And she doesn't know why people can't just be happy. And she doesn't know why people won't smile for the pictures. And then she makes everyone else out to be difficult, as if they're the problem, as if she didn't offend and criticize and cut down everyone leading up to this event, and now you have to stand there and take pictures like nothing ever happened. And you and so many people around you are actually tired of living like that. And you really don't have to. You are an emperor. You can take your power back by not letting her decide everything. If you know the story of Gilmore Girls, Lorelai did not let her mother decide everything. She took her power back, and at a young age. And she forged a life for herself, one that her mother could not control. And her mother tried. Emily tried inserting herself into Lorelai's life, disrespecting the boundaries so she could control Lorelai's life. Even ingratiating herself with Lorelai's friends to control things. But Lorelai kept her boundaries. And when it was necessary, she confronted Emily with how Emily made her feel. And Emily didn't apologize. Emily showed no remorse. But the fact that Lorelai confronted her with it meant she couldn't pretend like it never happened. And that's all I think you need to do. I really do. Well, that's all I've got for you. If you resonated with the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And don't be shy, leave a comment. Please be respectful in the comments of myself and of others. And be respectful of yourself and how you're presenting yourself in our online community. Also, please refer back to the thumbnail and look at all the other images. And if another one appeals to you, please join me in that video as well. Until then.